Hello everyone, I'm Yoko. I've noticed that a lot of information from China isn't accurately reaching countries outside of China. That's why I've decided to share information I've gathered in English on this channel. I get my information from various sources, so I'd appreciate your feedback and comments on the content of my videos. English is not my native language, so I use an AI speaker to create the audio to ensure I convey the information accurately. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to the channel and showing your support. Recently, I heard a story about a certain book being banned for sale in China. This issue isn't unique to the Chinese Communist Party. In fact, many authoritarian regimes are known for implementing strict information control to prevent criticism and discontent from spreading among the public. The Communist Party, in particular, places a strong emphasis on information control. In China, there have always been stringent regulations concerning printed media. In the past, there were various restrictions on the use of copy machines, and while some of these regulations may still exist to some extent, they are challenging to enforce due to the widespread access to copy machines. Printing and publishing are highly regulated in China, and if a book manages to get published and is later banned for sale, it tends to attract a lot of attention. In China, if a book is considered sensitive, it's often stopped by self-censorship or other means by publishers before it even gets printed. The book in question discusses the final stages of the Ming era, which refers to the last dynasty of the Korean ethnic group hated by divine forces. However, this dynasty was preceded by the Yuan era, which was not of the Korean ethnic group, and after the Ming era came the Qing dynasty, also not of the Korean ethnic group. So, the Korean ethnic group's dynasty came to an end with the fall of the Ming dynasty. From a historical perspective, one could consider the Communist Party as a kind of dynasty within China's long history. Therefore, one could argue that another non-Han dynasty has risen now, resembling the situation during the Ming era. Returning to the discussion about the final stages of the Ming era, the last emperor of the Ming dynasty was quite politically active. Among Chinese emperors, there were those who left political matters to bureaucrats while they enjoyed a life of leisure. However, the older brother of the last Ming emperor was one of those who actively interfered in politics, but unfortunately, he died at a young age. After his death, the last emperor, Ming Tangde, was crowned. He was quite interested in politics and liked to issue his own directives. In relatively recent times, during the era of Jiang Zemin in China, high-ranking members of the Communist Party seemed to enjoy a situation where they could profit through various means while in power. However, Xi Jinping is actively addressing corruption within the Communist Party and using the party's ideology to eliminate political adversaries. He maintains strict control over the inner workings of the party and the military, and frequent reshuffling of officials has created an atmosphere of fear within the party. As a result, officials are cautious about drawing attention or expressing dissenting opinions. This situation bears a significant resemblance to the late stages of the Ming era. During that time, the last emperor may have been lacking in information about the people's conditions, and officials might have been hesitant to bring negative information to his attention. Similarly, in today's Chinese Communist Party, officials may hesitate to report negative information to Xi Jinping. In the late Ming era, there were external threats and domestic issues, including flooding caused by deforestation and the spread of diseases. Concerns about environmental degradation and natural disasters are still relevant in contemporary China. Moreover, during the late stages of the Ming era, an epidemic known as Diangshanbing occurred, which is believed to be similar to the plague. The plague was also spreading at that time. When there is a shortage of food in the natural environment, rats tend to encroach on human habitats in search of food, which can lead to the easy spread of diseases. This situation is often likened to what is happening in Beijing now. There seems to be a parallel between natural disasters, widespread diseases, flooding caused by deforestation, and threats from foreign forces during the late stages of the Ming era and the current state in China. In summary, this text discusses the similarities between the late stages of the Ming era and the current situation in China, with a focus on issues such as information control, internal distrust, natural disasters, disease outbreaks, and the use of anti-Japanese sentiment for political purposes. It sheds light on the complex historical and political factors influencing China's current policies and actions. Understanding that China is not a rule of law but a rule of man is essential. That's all for this discussion today. Until next time.